Ravens steamrolled the Chargers. Chiefs bounced back. Some teams are teetering. Looking at you, Cleveland. All right, Nick, take us through your NFL tiers entering Week 7.
All right, we got to go super fast here. No foreplay, no preamble. Unveil the bottom 16 teams in the league. Just show it to us now. The Giants, you're down with the Lions until you fire Gettleman. By the way, Panthers, Broncos plummeting from those 3-0 starts. Seahawks teetering in the danger zone, my friends. All right, the next teams you're going to see, 16 teams, 8 from each conference, at least one of them not making the playoffs. Show me the first grouping of teams if you would, please. These tiers have names. Untrustworthy. Bengals, Saints, Niners, Vikings. Why are they untrustworthy? Zach Taylor, Jameis Winston, don't know who your quarterback is, and Kirk Cousins. Speaks for itself. Dangerous but damaged. Titans, dangerous because of Derrick Henry. Damaged because you got to play defense. Raiders, dangerous because they keep winning games. Damaged because, have you heard about the John Gruden story? Do you have an hour and a half? I could explain it to you. Browns, literally damaged. Whole offense is injured, but still dangerous because we know what they can be. All right, now let's go to the cream of the crop. Let's go to some better teams. Oh, AFC logjam. Chargers plummeting from the best team in the AFC after getting annihilated. The Bills, when your quarterback literally falls on its face, you have the best win your franchise has had, arguably, since Jim Kelly was the quarterback. And you follow it up by blowing a game when you're a touchdown favorite, and now you have to sit on that with the bye, just stewing. That hurts you. Chiefs, meanwhile, 21-0 in the last 2 quarters of football they've played. All AFC logjam right there. You guys are like, oh, Nick, you're going to create your own tier for the Chiefs. No, sir, I'm not. Take integrity demands that I put them where they deserve to be. All right, next group, please. I'm out of breath. All right, show me the group. Thank you. Taking care of business. Listen, Bucks, Packers, Rams. They all have one kind of ugly loss. But other than that, they just take care of business each week. They're not really blowing people out. I know the Rams did, but the Rams blew out the Giants, so that's like beating a regular team by 7, beating the Giants by 30. But each week, just win. They all 5-1, all taking care of business, all have one game they'd like to have back, but just humming along as real Super Bowl contenders should. Who are the number 1 contenders, however? That's a hell of a question. Cardinals, Cowboys. All right, now we got to spend some time here just for a moment. You see a little asterisk. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but there's an asterisk next to number 1 contenders. Because it is hard for me to believe that either of these teams with their current head coaches can win the Super Bowl. You might say, Nick, did you watch the Cardinals this weekend? Oh, I did. Did you notice who wasn't there? Cliff Kingsbury. Most impressive victory of the year, and Cliff Kingsbury's not there. Kevin Wilde's going to tell me I'm being mean. He was in COVID protocols, Nick. You can't say he wasn't there. Nah, he wasn't there, and they were good. Cowboys, on the other hand, it's Mike McCarthy. So who's left? Who's the favorites? Like a rocket to the top, you have the Baltimore Ravens. After what they did this weekend, they are the current favorites. Now, again, much like last week, we're no longer calling, at least for the time being, a team favorites. Not outright favorites, but the current favorites. Because for the Ravens, we still are a little ominous that they were down 19 to the Colts, that they needed a 66-yarder to beat the Lions. However, with Lamar playing the way he is, even with the news that Ronnie Stanley is out for the year, they haven't had him all year up to this point anyway, they are the current favorites. So there it is. The committee met late into the night. One of the committee members slept over because he wanted to watch the damn Laker game. He's snoring on my couch over here trying to do television. He needs to go home, Alan. But other than that, it's a great addition to the tiers. Broussard, your thoughts?
All right, a few things. First of all, you are being mean. And not just to Cliff Kingsbury, but also to Jameis Winston. You got it. You're gonna rue the day, Nick. Every week you come on here and you insult the dark horse MVP candidate for the New Orleans Saints. You're gonna regret it. So I'm just warning you. It should stop next week. Okay. Just stop next week with the insults. Okay. All right. Secondly, I do want to give you credit for fighting off what had to be a mighty powerful temptation to put the Kansas City Chiefs at number 1. So I will give you that, Nick. That you kept the Chiefs down. They weren't the top team. But I do have an issue with your top of your board. And Baltimore, the great win. We get it. But Arizona deserves to be at the top of your tiers, Nick. They just do. And I get it. Everyone seems to be, they got this place in their body where they can't fully believe in Arizona. Maybe because they're kind of like the new kids on the block. I get it. But Nick, they've passed every single test. All right, they're the only undefeated team in the league. They've got a better resume this season than Baltimore. 3 incredible wins, all on the road, all blowouts at Tennessee, at the LA Rams, and at Cleveland. Those are tremendous wins. And the last one, by the way, came, as you mentioned, without their head coach. Don't rip him, though, because he was there for the Rams, Victor. He was there for the Titans route. So give him credit. But and on top of that, Nick, they got a top 5 defense in points scored. They got a top 5 defense in fewest points allowed. And as great as Lamar is playing, it doesn't take much of an argument to say that Kyler Murray's actually playing better. We can look at the numbers. In virtually every statistical category, he has Lamar beat. And, Nick, I know you say last year doesn't count, but clearly it does because the Chiefs would be down there with some of the lower teams if it didn't. All right, they are 12-3 in the last 15 games that Kyler Murray has been healthy. 12-3 over the last 2 years when he is healthy. This is a team to be reckoned with. And the Baltimore, great win. I get it over the Chargers. But, Nick, they struggled, as you said, to beat the winless Lions, the struggling Indianapolis Colts, and the middling Kansas City Chiefs. So Arizona should be number 1.
Last part. Stop that. All right, so here's the thing about Kyler and then about the Cardinals as a whole. Everyone points to the Cardinals were awesome last year until Kyler got hurt, and then they weren't. I actually don't think that's an argument in their favor. Here's why. Because it's not like Kyler was knocked out for the season. He got dinged badly and played through it. Because of his style and his size, if I'm ranking quarterbacks in list of concern that they're going to suffer some type of nagging injury, he is either at the top or very close to it. But the other thing is this. I understand that the committee's tiers are literally the only tiers or power rankings or hierarchy you're going to find anywhere in sports media that doesn't have the Cardinals at number 1. But here's the problem. Any of those people that put the Cardinals at number 1, ask them this. Who you got coming out of the NFC to go to the Super Bowl? See if they say the Cardinals. And after they say the Rams, then be like, okay, if the Rams don't go, who do you have? Then they'll say the Bucks. And then they'll probably say the Cowboys. And then they'll say the Packers. Like, everyone is anointing the Cardinals because of the record. Again, not a standings. Got to remind the audience, not a standings. It's a tier system. When nobody's picking them to go to the Super Bowl. I think most people think they're the 4th or 5th best team in their own conference. The committee is giving them a little more credit than that because they have earned it. But I don't think I think people are putting the Cardinals Wilds at 1 by the groupthink pressure of they're the only undefeated team, which, by the way, we saw that story last year with the Steelers, who were 11-0. The committee never respected them, and we're proven right. Now, the Cardinals are better than the Steelers. I'm not saying they're the last year's Steelers, but undefeated is not necessarily all it's cracked up to be sometimes, Wild.
Okay, I have 2 issues about our favorite teams. One is, I believe the Cowboys should be back on top. They went into the best stadium in the NFL and beat one of the greatest franchises in all of sports. They should not go down a notch. Because, especially with the way Dak played, they should still be number 1. If anything, they should be 1A. They should move up a notch. But my real contention is this: AFC logjam. Those teams literally played the Chiefs. They both beat the Chiefs. They do, just for that reason alone, they do not belong on the same tier as the teams that they literally beat. And I know you're like, you've broken this down now and saying like, they into halves of football. The Chiefs played a good half of football. Well, congratulations. They played a good. They shut out Washington for